What's going on, YouTube, and welcome to the Vinyl Exam. This is the pilot episode. This is the very first one, my very first crack at a YouTube channel. So, if you like the content that you see here, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and hit that post notification bell so you never miss a video. So, on this, the pilot episode, I thought it would be a good idea to start with the very first record that I ever bought with my own money. And I'll give you a little background. And that's kind of what I'm going to do on this channel, is I'm going to pick a record out of my collection, and I'm going to talk about, when I bought it, why I like or not like the album. So, anyway, the year was 1979. It was I was going into junior high school, and I was raised on my mom and dad's records. I was listening to what they had, which wasn't a lot, to be honest with you, especially in rock and roll, since they were primarily country music fans, which I can take it or leave it. I'm not a big country fan, although I do like some stuff. But as far as rock and roll goes, it was pretty much the records and the bands that they listened to when they were young. So I got raised on Elvis Presley and the Four Seasons and the Beach Boys and the Ventures, which is all great stuff, and I actually have some in my collection. But there was something missing from my life in music. But in 1979, everything changed, and it changed dramatically. And my musical adventures and career, or whatever you want to call it, took a complete turn in the rock and roll direction, and it was good. It changed my life. Everything about me is rock and roll. It's music. I love it. It's something I'm very much into and have been. But in 1979, it all got started about when I met a new friend. I went from elementary school to junior high, and when you go to junior high, you get other kids from other elementary schools, and we were all put together in this one junior high school. So you made some new friends, and I made one. Ironically, he just lived around the road from me. I grew up out in the country on a farm, so we didn't live in a neighborhood with city blocks and, a bunch of houses on the same street. The closest house to me was probably 200 yards away out in the country on a farm. This guy just lived around the road from me, but he had gone to a different elementary school. But I finally got to meet this guy. His name is Chris. You can hear his name a lot on here because he was a major influence on my rock and roll music adventures. But we met on the school bus. We got to talking, and he invited me over to his house one day. And when I walked into his room that day, my life changed forever. Because on his walls, he had Kiss posters. He had the Beatles. He had the Rolling Stones. He had a really good record collection for a 12-year-old. Most 12-year-olds don't have the records and cassettes and stuff that this guy had. But he had the stuff, and I didn't. So I had a long way to go before I could catch up to him. But he really brought me along as far as music goes. And one of those bands that had come out in 1979 had a hit song on the radio, and I bit hard. I thought this was one of the greatest songs I'd ever heard in my life at 12 years old. Now, bear in mind, I hadn't heard Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon. I hadn't heard Led Zeppelin 4. I hadn't heard any of that up to this point because I didn't know much about modern music at the time. So I heard this song. The song was My Sharona. The band was the Knack. That's right, get the Knack. This is sort of a one-hit wonder album, if you will. But it's got a lot of memories for me. I remember when I bought this record, I had to save up a little bit of lawn mowing money. I used to mow my great-grandmother's yard, and I had to save up a couple of weeks of yard mowing money to go out and purchase this record. But when I bought it, I brought it home, and my grandmother had given me my first stereo. It was one of those old furniture console stereos. I think it was a Magnavox that she wasn't using anymore, and she gave it to me. And so I had my own stereo system in my own room. My mom and dad had just built a new house in 1979. I used to share a room with my brother. So in 1979, I got my own room. I got a stereo system. I made a new friend that changed my musical life forever. Everything changed. Everything was just going a completely new direction from what I was used to. So I bought this record, and I promptly wore the thing out. My original copy that I bought, I still have, and this is it right here in my hand I am holding. And it's pretty worn out. The cover's pretty worn out. Of course, at 12 years old, I didn't take the greatest care of my records. I tried to hold them properly, you know, by the edges or by the thumb and fingers in the middle of the label. I did the best I could, but man, this thing is in rough shape. I really played this record, and I played it a lot, mainly My Sharona. That song just really spoke to me when I was 12 years old. You know, a young 12-year-old adolescent who's still trying to figure everything out. I'm trying to figure out girls, and I'm trying to figure out music, and I'm trying to figure out everything. And this record was just one of those special albums that, I don't know, kind of got me through my early adolescence, I suppose. And it was a good album. It's still a good album. And before I made this video, I decided to go back and play it because it's been a while since I've played it, I'll admit. So I went back and played it, and I listened to the whole thing track by track. I made a few notes that I'll share with you here in just a minute. But it really brought back a lot of memories. I mean, it brought me back to that bedroom. And that's what music can do. It can take you back to a time and place when you first heard a song, or when you bought the album and you couldn't get enough of it and you just wore the thing out like I did this one. So going back and listening to this was really cool. And I'll give you a little rundown of this record. It was produced by Mike Chapman. Mike Chapman was a producer and songwriter who worked with the likes of Tina Turner, Pat Benatar, Blondie, Huey Lewis and the News, and of course the Knack. He's got a good resume, okay? And so he produced the album. And the members of the band, Bruce Gary on drums, who unfortunately passed away of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, I believe, in 2006. Doug Feiger, the rhythm guitarist and vocalist of the band, who also passed away of cancer in 2010. Rest in peace, Bruce and Doug. And Prescott Niles on bass, and Burton Avery. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce his name right. Burton, if you happen to be watching this, correct me. I have a weird last name too, so I get it. But nevertheless, I bought into these guys. I thought they were fantastic. And the back cover, very Beatlesque, in the skinny black ties and matching white shirts and black slacks, and just kind of got that stance, you know. Yeah, I mean, really good band, really good record. As far as the track listing goes, we'll go by track, and I'll kind of give you a rundown of what it is. I mean, basically, the Knack is sort of at that time was considered new wave. They kind of fit into that genre. I mean, kind of like the Talking Heads, they were new wave. But you can hear a lot of different influences in this album. A lot of times I can hear the Beatles. There's one song on here that's got Cheap Trick vibes to it. And there's even a song on here that Buddy Holly sang way back when. So, side one, first song, Let Me Out. Just a straight up rocker. It's upbeat, it's fun, and it's a good song. It's a good way to start an album out. It kind of gets your juices flowing, you know. Second song on side one is one of my favorite songs on the album. It's Your Number or Your Name. Really good song. It's got cool lyrics. It's got a great groove to it, and the groove is something that I'm all about. You're going to hear me say that term a lot, the groove. If the song has got the groove, oh Tara. It's a decent song. That's the one that kind of gave me the Cheap Trick vibes, and I'm a big Cheap Trick fan, by the way. We'll be getting to them. We'll be getting to a lot of bands, so hold on to your seat. There's a lot more coming. And mostly, I'll use that to explain this channel is going to be mostly rock and roll. I mean, it's going to be hard rock. It's going to be metal. It's going to be classic rock. It's going to be doo-wop. It's going to be a little bit of everything, but primarily what I'm into is hard rock and metal. But continuing on, She's So Selfish is the fourth track on side one. Another song that's just got a really good groove to it. I like the drum work in it. Even though there's guitars hanging behind me that I do and can play, I'm primarily a drummer. And we'll get into that more on other records that influenced me as a drummer. But I like the drum part on that song. The next track is Maybe Tonight. It's kind of the ballad on this album, and it's just okay. To me, it drug a little bit, and to be honest with you, I kind of lost interest in it. I'm even listening to it, again, and I haven't listened to it in years. That's probably one of them that I skipped when I was 12 years old. Good Girls Don't. Another upbeat song, got a harmonica solo on there. It's kind of a cool song. Not one of the better ones, but it's a pretty cool song. And you flip the record over, and you go to side 2, My Sharona. First song, side 2. And side 2, honestly, probably got played more than side 1 when I was a kid because, when you're 12 years old, you play through 6 songs and your attention goes somewhere else and you got something else going on. So, quite honestly, My Sharona, that's the song that got me into this. That's the song that got me into this band and made me have to go out and spend my hard-earned lawn mowing money to buy this record. And I promptly wore it out, as I spoke of. But it's just a great song. It was a hit. It was a major hit. It's the reason that this album sold over 1 million copies. It was just a super cool song. And then second song on this side is Heartbeat. That's the one that Buddy Holly recorded many years before. And then there's the third song is Siamese Twins. Solid song. Got some nice cowbell work, if you're a drummer. It's a pretty cool song. Lucinda, next song, just okay. Not one of the better songs. That's What the Little Girls Do. Another cool song. It's got a cool groove to it, and I kind of dig it, but not one of my favorites, obviously. And then the last song on the album is Frustrated. Another song that's just okay. Doesn't really do anything for me. Quite honestly, this album, overall, you've got maybe a half a dozen songs on this album that are really good songs and worth buying the album for. The rest of it, just okay. But of course, as you know, music is subjective. What I don't like, you may love, and vice versa. And some of you probably hate My Sharona. It was overplayed on the radio. It gets played on classic rock radio now pretty often. But overall, this is a good album. On a scale of 1 to 10, I would give it a good solid 6. And 4 of it for me is My Sharona and Your Number or Your Name. The rest of it, it's just okay. But you can judge for yourself. The good thing about today and the time that we live in is you can go to your phone, your tablet, your computer, and you can pull this album up and listen to it for yourself and decide whether or not you need a physical copy. Like me, I prefer physical copies, as you can tell. So, judge for yourself. Check it out. See if you like it. You can buy this album at most record stores for under $10. Like I said, they sold a gajillion of these things. They're not hard to find. They're not rare. They're not highly collectible or anything like that. It's just a good, solid record for your record collection if you are a collector. And for those of you that already have the album or know what I'm talking about, whether you like it, whether you don't, is it worth having, is it not? Like I said, man, for $5 or so, you're not losing anything, really. It's not that big of a deal, but it's a really good album. I like it. I have 2 copies. I have my OG copy that's beat up, and I have another copy that's in much better shape. Oddly enough, it's the exact same pressing. It's a Jacksonville pressing. Just a standard U.S. Jacksonville pressing. It's nothing, to hoot and holler about. It's not a Japanese pressing or anything like that. We'll get into those later. But overall, good stuff, Let me know what you think, listen to the album. Drop down in the comments. Do you like it? Do you not? Is there a song you really like, a song you really don't? All I ask is be kind in the comments. I don't mind a little constructive criticism. Let me know what you think. And I'll see you on the next one, on the Vinyl Exam. See ya.